music, you know you're going to get a really good instrument. They have used, or pre-owned, I guess is the new word. They have new, they have everything you would want and need, and you don't have to shell out all the money at once. You can go month by month. And the nice thing is if your child ends up playing something else, you can put that money that you put into whatever and dump it into something else. They're our preferred dealer too.
Right. I'm going to introduce you to the clarinet. The clarinet is a single reed instrument where the sound is made by the vibration of the reed against the mouthpiece, which is typically plastic.
But you're like, I prefer something lower, perhaps the bass clarinet might be more your style. Now, the bass clarinet,
I don't know if I need to do this. The bass clarinet is a little bigger. Oftentimes there's a little bit of a kickstand on the bottom so that, you know, if a kid's short or tall, doesn't matter how tall they are, it actually just sits kind of on the ground there. And I'm going to try playing this instrument.
putting the reed on.
Now you may notice us sucking on the reeds a little bit. That's how we kind of soften them up so that they do vibrate, because all sound is made via vibration.
Bass clarinet, that's a school-rented instrument. Occasionally, students have bought their own bass clarinets, but very, very, very rarely. Okay? So clarinet and bass clarinet are in the same family. You know how to play one, you know how to play the other. Same notes, same fingerings, just different size. Same thing is true with the saxophone family. Miss Lundeen and I have the alto saxophone, that's what I have, and she has the tenor saxophone. So depending on your size and height and arm length, we'll maybe consider which one you want to start on. Now, like I said, if you know how to play one saxophone, you know how to play them all. Same fingering, same notes, just different sizes. Here's the alto. Thank you. Also, this is a single reed, just like the clarinets.
Tenor is obviously a little bit bigger. You have the option to get this really fashionable harness if you want. I'll model for you. Oh, thank you. You don't have to, but if you're a small person like me, it is definitely helpful. It has these nice, padded straps. I would say if you're somebody who's really, really small and you I really want to play tenor, it could be a good idea to start with alto, just because your hands might not be big enough yet to reach all the keys on the tenor. Like Miss Seiler said, you can always switch if you need to. But if you're somebody I got big hands, I'm really tall, tenor could definitely work for you. It's just a little bit lower than the alto, and it tends to play kind of the lower lines along with the tuba and the trombone and the baritone.
Even people that play alto saxophone, tenor saxophone, when they hit 6th grade, halfway through or 7th and 8th, we have them start on the bari or baritone saxophone. So even bigger saxophones exist in the band world. We have all the cases underneath the tables for you so that when you come up and take a look, you can look at the size of the cases. I mean, some cases are generally not quite exactly like others, but generally speaking, you can see the size of the cases. So bassoon is an instrument we don't have here tonight to demonstrate. quite frankly, because none of us really wanted to demonstrate it. It's quite its own animal. And it's very tall. Has a lot of intricacies, a lot of keys, a lot of bassoony things that only go in the bassoon world. If you're an individual that wants to be really unique, even more unique than the oboe player, bassoon is for you. You have to be tall, long arms, long fingers. Got to be able to reach around that wood. Bassoons are made out of wood. Some are plastic, but most are wood. So if that's something you're interested in, the school owns bassoons. We can set you up with that. We don't have many, probably under 5 here at Westwood. But we do start kids on bassoon if they really are interested and it's something they know they absolutely want to do. We don't want to limit it because we do know that there are people out there like that. Bassoon has a quality of its own and a unique sound all of its own. Yeah, our sound isn't working tonight. So our hear a song button is not working.
We will be sending out this PowerPoint though, so you could always click on it at home. Or go on youtube.com and type in bassoon.
YouTube is probably the best way to go there.
Yeah. Okay. So, the brass family. The brass family uses a technique known as buzzing. Oh, that was really bad in your microphone, I'm so sorry. Which is how you make the sound of the brass instrument. You buzz into the mouthpiece. They range in size from very small, like the trumpet or the French horn mouthpiece, to pretty big, like the size, about the size of a cup, like the tuba mouthpiece. Playing a brass instrument, you might look at it and be like, oh, it looks super easy. There's only 3 keys. Okay, but as you'll see, that they'll demonstrate in a second, you can get tons and tons and tons of different notes, different pitches with every single key. So you need to be able to hear the differences in pitch, and also eventually you'll learn how to make those differences in pitch.
So we start kids on mouthpieces if you choose brass. If you can't play on this, you can't play on this. This is just an amplifier of this. All of it is controlled with your embouchure, your mouth muscles, and the mouthpiece. So we do lots of buzzing games, and buzzing on the trumpet sounds like this. I call that one the siren game. So a lot of it is controlled right here, right in the corners of your mouth. These muscles right here will tighten and loosen, kind of smile, unsmile. That's high notes, low notes. Trumpet, big, bold, in your face. If you're that kind of a person, this might be an instrument for you. Now I'm going to play a bunch of different notes without pressing any keys. Get rid of that water.
Now,
For the record, this is not spit. If everybody just goes on your hand, you'll feel that it gets moist. It's actually condensation from the moisture in your lungs.
Everybody thinks it's spit, it's really not, it's water buildup.
if it is, you're doing it wrong.
He's got a better brass sound than I do. I'm a woodwind person. So take it away. Trumpet.
This is the French horn. Ooh, it looks fancy. It's got about 40 feet of tubing in it. This instrument is well suited for somebody who has a really good ear and is willing to work really hard. This instrument is fairly difficult to start out on. Oftentimes if you're like, oh, maybe the French horn, we would recommend sometimes that you would actually start on trumpet and then move to horn. We have a lot of kids have success that way once they build up the embouchure, the lip muscles, before that happens. The horn, you'll notice in most movies, would kind of give you the shivers during those powerful emotional moments. This is what the horn sounds like.
The rip.
It's just fun to do.
French horn is a school rented instrument, and In 5th grade, you get a single horn, so not as much tubing, a little bit easier to focus the pitch and focus the notes. French horn has, besides the bassoon, the most notes that anybody can play. And you have to have, like Mr. Marsalik and Miss Lundeen said, a good ear. So if you like to sing, you hear pitch as well. French horn's probably a really good choice for you if you like brass. So everybody always doesn't know the name of this instrument. Say you. Phone. Yum. Euphonium. Yes, euphonium. Another name, baritone. It goes by baritone. The names are interchangeable in the band world. It's like a mini tuba. Mr. Marsalik, you want to hold up the tuba here next to the euphonium? Okay, almost identical. In fact, they play a lot of the same lines of music when students first start in beginning band, and it's not heavy. A lot of kids will be like, oh, it looks so big, it's heavy. It's really not. It's not heavy. And the best part about playing the euphonium, this is what you carry, because you get one at home and one at school. Lightest instrument in the band. So if you like low sounds, big, beefy, deep, dark lines, euphonium might be an instrument you would like to play.
Who knows what this is? Trombone, yes. It is the only brass instrument that does not use valve, but instead has a slide. Right, the trombone is famous for its slide. It does require a good sense of pitch, and you'll hear that in a second. Technically, you can play infinite, however many notes, because you're sliding up and down. So you need to be able to hear whether or not you're playing the right note. Same thing as euphonium. It has about the same mouthpiece, or actually the same mouthpiece, but you would be bringing your trombone to and from school. It is not heavy. I can do this. You're never going to be allowed to do this, but I can do this to show you how light it is. And here is the trombone.
Yes. So if you learn how to play trombone or you're interchangeable. Yeah, the lows.
This is the tuba. It's a little heavier than the other ones. And it plays an octave below the euphonium, which basically means it plays very low.